What if the exhaustion you feel every day isn't a sign of failure, but a symptom of your intelligence? We are taught that communication is a bridge, but the truth is far darker. Every time you explain what should never need explanation, you are betraying yourself. You aren't tired because you're weak. You're tired because you're trying to build cathedrals in rooms that only have space for shadows. Most people think silence is a void, but I'm going to show you why it is actually the ultimate form of power. If you've ever felt guilty for wanting silence or frustrated by loud conviction, stay with me. You're not broken. You're just operating on a frequency the world isn't ready to hear. Many intelligent people live with a quiet tension they cannot name. They feel drained after conversations, frustrated after discussions, and strangely guilty for wanting silence. They are told they are too serious, too distant, too complicated, but the truth is simpler and far darker. The world is not designed for depth. It rewards certainty, not understanding. It amplifies confidence, not reflection. And those who see this clearly often pay the price internally. Most conflicts you experience are not caused by cruelty. They are caused by limitation, not evil intention, but shallow thinking armed with loud conviction. This combination is more destructive than malice. Because it cannot recognize itself, you begin to notice patterns, the same arguments repeating, the same misunderstandings resurfacing, the same emotional reactions replacing reason, and slowly, without realizing it, you start shrinking your thoughts to fit rooms that were never built for them. Is where the damage begins. This journey is not about feeling superior. It is about survival. About understanding why clarity feels heavy in a world addicted to noise. And why silence may be the most intelligent response you have ever avoided. If these words feel uncomfortably familiar, stay with them. This is only the surface. What comes next explains why intelligence suffers most when it expects reason from those who never intended to use it. Us. There is a mistake intelligent people make again and again. They assume explanation leads to understanding. They believe logic can close every gap. This belief is costly. Some minds are not resistant because they lack information. They are resistant because information threatens their identity. Facts disturb certainty, and certainty is often all they have. This is why calm explanations provoke anger, why polite disagreement feels like insult, why reason is interpreted as attack. The problem is not ignorance. Ignorance can be corrected. The problem is the refusal to question oneself, combined with absolute confidence. A person who doubts himself is manageable. A person who cannot doubt himself becomes dangerous, not because he is powerful, but because he is immovable. Intelligent people fall into a trap here. They explain again, they clarify further, they slow down, simplify, adjust their language, and each time they lose a little more energy. Not because they are wrong, but because they are speaking to a structure that cannot receive them. Over time, this creates resentment. Resentment hardens into contempt, and contempt begins to poison the one who holds it. This is the quiet corruption of intelligence, not stupidity itself, but prolonged exposure to it without boundaries. The realization that changes everything is simple. Not every mind is reachable. Not every disagreement is a misunderstanding. Some gaps are permanent. And once you accept this, something shifts. You stop trying to win. You stop trying to convince. You begin to observe instead. Silence is often misunderstood. It is mistaken for weakness, avoidance, or fear. In reality, silence is a form of intelligence that has learned restraint. Arguing with shallow certainty does not elevate truth. It feeds noise. Every emotional reaction rewards the very behavior that drains you. Every unnecessary explanation strengthens the wrong dynamic. Distance is not rejection, it is discernment. It is choosing not to invest clarity where it will be distorted. It is protecting depth from erosion. Many intelligent people confuse compassion with engagement. They believe caring requires participation. But involvement without impact is not compassion, it is self-neglect. When someone is determined to misunderstand you, explanation becomes self-betrayal. When someone listens only to reply, dialogue becomes performance. And when a conversation never evolves, persistence becomes punishment. Solitude plays a crucial role here, not isolation from humanity, but withdrawal from constant friction. A mind cannot remain sharp if it is always adapting downward. Silence recalibrates what noise distorts. This is where real power develops, not in dominance, but in non-reactivity, not in proving intelligence, but in refusing to waste it, not in being heard, but in remaining intact. Ask yourself honestly, how many arguments cost you peace? How many explanations left you emptier than before? These are not failures, they are lessons. The greatest threat of stupidity is not that it exists, it is that it invites you to become reactive, to explain endlessly, to defend what never needed defense. Over time, this erodes clarity, patience thins, joy fades, and intelligence becomes burden instead of strength. The highest form of intelligence is not brilliance, it is self-governance, the ability to remain undisturbed, the discipline to choose where your attention lives. When you stop feeding pointless conflict, something remarkable happens. Your energy returns, your thoughts sharpen, your emotional world stabilizes. You no longer see stupidity as an enemy, you see it as a condition, present, persistent, but no longer personal. Understanding replaces resentment, distance replaces frustration, and silence replaces unnecessary struggle. This is not withdrawal from life, it is alignment with reality, speaking when speech has weight, remaining silent when silence preserves dignity. You are not here to correct the world. You are here to remain whole within it. Your clarity is valuable. Your peace is rare. Protect them. If this perspective reshaped how you understand your exhaustion, your relationships, or your silence, reflect on it. Write what changed for you, because sometimes the most intelligent act is not expression, but restraint, and that is where real power begins. At the end of all reflection, one truth remains difficult to accept but impossible to escape. The world will not slow down for your depth, it will not soften itself to accommodate your clarity, and it will not reward you for seeing more than others are willing to see. This is where many intelligent people make their final mistake. They believe their awareness comes with responsibility, that because they see clearly, they must explain clearly, that because they understand, they must help others understand. But understanding is not a duty. It is a burden only if you treat it as one. There is a quiet cruelty in constantly offering depth to those who cannot carry it. Not cruelty toward them, but toward yourself. Every time you over-explain, you shrink your thinking to fit smaller containers. Every time you react emotionally, you surrender control of your inner world. True mastery begins when you stop asking, "Why don't they understand?" and start asking, "Why do I need them to?" The moment you release the need to be understood, something profound happens. Your thoughts become lighter, your silence becomes intentional, and your presence becomes grounded instead of defensive. You realize that most noise survives only because it is fed, most conflicts persist only because they are answered, and most stupidity remains powerful only because intelligent people keep engaging with it. This is not defeat, this is disengagement with purpose. The strongest minds are not loud, they are selective. They do not scatter their attention across every opinion, reaction, or provocation. They conserve energy or what actually shapes their life. Being misunderstood is not a failure of intelligence. It is often proof of it. Depth has always appeared strange in shallow environments. Silence has always been mistaken for absence by those who live on noise. You are not here to be accessible to everyone. You are not here to translate yourself endlessly, and you are not here to correct every flawed perception you encounter. Your responsibility is simpler and heavier than that. It is to remain clear in a world that constantly blurs, to remain steady in a world addicted to reaction, to remain whole in a world that fragments those who overextend themselves. When you stop explaining yourself to those who never intended to listen, you reclaim something vital: time, energy, and dignity. This is the quiet victory no one applauds, the victory of not needing the last word, of walking away without bitterness, of choosing peace without apology. In the end, intelligence is not proven by how much you speak. It is revealed by how little you are compelled to. And wisdom is not found in changing the world around you, but in refusing to let its noise rearrange what lives inside you. That restraint, that distance, that silence is not emptiness. It is power, finally under your control,